Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawkeye Women's Basketball, presented by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, delivering the funds the university needs to drive academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Visit uiowaenergycollaborative.com. Also brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Iowa Lottery, be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. Hy-Vee, score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. And by 988 Lifeline. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. This is Hawkeye Women's Basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Here's Rob Brooks.
Saturday afternoon basketball from Carver Hawkeye Arena as the 18-2 Iowa Hawkeyes get set to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who come in at 13-6. And for the Hawkeyes, it was about rest and recuperation and working on some things that went wrong at Ohio State last Sunday, as the Hawkeyes lost just their first Big Ten game of the year, stand at 7-1 in that category. Nebraska at 5-3. So a really loose team, ready to get back on the court after that Ohio State game, as a terrific crowd on hand here, as it always is, but especially on a Saturday afternoon. And Nebraska, this is the first meeting between the two teams this year. They will get together in Lincoln in February, as the Huskers under Amy Williams, coming off a tough loss at Penn State, an improved Penn State team. Lost that one 82-73. Had won against Michigan at home at 62-43. So this team is very capable, but if the Hawkeyes play like they're capable of, certainly should come out on top. But Nebraska is very good on the interior, as Alexis Markowski will be a player to watch, as she averages a double-double at 16.8, 10.5. So the likes of Hannah Stolke, Sharon Goodman, Addie O'Grady will certainly have to be ready. We'll get the pregame comments from head coach Lisa Bluter, and Catherine Reynolds alongside today will give us her keys to a Hawkeye victory as Iowa inches closer to that 20-win mark. We'll be back to Carver Hawkeye Arena after the break. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Escape to Italy and Sicily in September 2024 with Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited. Enjoy this melting pot of multicultural customs and cuisine and beautiful landscapes. After taking in Rome, we'll head down to the dramatic Sorrento coast and then journey from Italy's heel to its toe of Sicily. To learn more about this or any vacation, contact Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com. That's duagency.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corn grows Iowa.
Welcome back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Huskers and the Hawks on a Saturday afternoon as we welcome in Coach Bluter on the pregame show. And Coach, kind of strange not having a midweek game, but plenty of practice time. What did you kind of work on, and how did the week look?
You know, we actually got a lot of rest this week. I think when, you want to get back on the floor after a loss. And so it just like kind of drives you nuts. But we also need to be smart and to use our bye weeks wisely, because you don't get very many bye weeks. And I think that might be our last one, actually. And so we gave our team some rest because they needed it physically, mentally. Again, just have to use it wisely. Then we had a couple practice days to get ready for Nebraska. It's like put that one in the rearview mirror. We learned from that. Now we're moving on to Nebraska, who's a very good 5-3 Big Ten basketball team.
Yeah, they're right in the mix there. As you watch Nebraska, what really kind of stands out to you? Obviously, the pivot is number one.
Yeah, I mean, they really rebound well. They're a plus 11 rebounding team. We're a plus 9, and I think we're a good rebounding team. So boxing out's going to be important. We're going to play a ton of ball screens today. They really set a bunch of ball screens. Post defense, both by their power forward and Makowski. I mean, she's been around for a while. She's only a junior. Seems like she should be older than that. But between those two players, they're averaging about 28 points a game between the 4 and the 5 down in the post block.
Well, you're right. And Markowski, how do you defend her? And then Natalie Potts has really kind of burst on the scene as a freshman.
She's a good candidate for the freshman of the year in the Big Ten and shooting almost 60% from the field. Also, their second best offensive rebounder. Doesn't have much range, though. She wants to do most of her work down at the block. But this is for Nebraska, that works out okay because Markowski is a good three-point shooter.
We'll be back with more from Coach Bluter after the break. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today for the best home comfort system you can buy. It's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
You know, Lisa, even before every arena was sold out in the Big Ten, always seemed like Iowa and Nebraska, of course, border states, rivalry, because they've had good crowds over in Lincoln. We've had good crowds here. So it's been kind of a fun series, hasn't it? Yeah, it really has been. Luckily, we've won a lot lately in that series. But you're right. Both, I think the border war thing, that especially Nebraska, who's kind of on the outskirts, well, soon to be, won't be, right. But, we're this kind of that first state that they hit in the Big Ten. And so I think that really makes a difference for this. And also, like you said, both teams draw very, very well. For the Hawks, what's important? You mentioned a few things, and how do you defend Markowski on the inside? Well, definitely we're going to have to bring a double. We can't expect, Hannah or Sharon or Addie to handle her on her own. And so we're going to have to bring the double at her. Offensively, I want to attack her. I want to try to beat her off the bounce, draw a few fouls on her, and Hannah Stuelke's the perfect person to do that. As you look at Nebraska's bench, it seems like they've got some good three-point shooters that aren't afraid to shoot. They do. They bring in a lot of three-point shooters off the bench, and they are not afraid, like you said, to put it up. And so we definitely have to get out there and protect against the three, even when they go to their bench. Well, it should be a great atmosphere, Coach. Let's go start another win streak. Let's do it. Head coach Lisa Bluter on the pregame show. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from their field.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
At this time, we ask you to direct your attention to...
Minutes away from tip-off between Iowa and Nebraska, and before today's national anthem, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Iowa Hawkeye Women's Basketball.
Today is Bella Nighthawk.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Today's national anthem in front of a sold-out crowd once again inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, and the fans arrived early. Plenty of congestion to get in, but they have arrived on time as we get ready for the starting lineups. And before we do that, let's talk keys to a Hawkeye victory. Catherine, what's important for the Hawkeyes today? Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, Rob. Happy to be here back in Carver Hawkeye. Always feels pretty much like home in here, especially on a Saturday in Iowa City. We'll hit three keys to this game. I think first and foremost, and Coach Bler touched on this as well in the pregame, is defending the ball screen. Nebraska likes to get into that ball screen action both in transition and in the quarter court. And then most importantly, even if you contain that guard, it's recovering back to their bigs. Alexis Markowski averaging a double-double. So finishing those plays with the box out, limiting the second chance opportunities that got exposed a little bit for the Hawkeyes last week in Columbus. Secondly, transition defense. Nebraska for years under Coach Williams has run a secondary break where they get all sorts of ball screen action at the wings and at the top of the key where they're looking to either get three-point field goals or rolls to the rim. These posts on this Nebraska team are a key, both for three-point threat and getting directly in for layups. So slowing the Huskers in transition would be the second key of the game. And lastly, keeping it simple. I think a balanced attack from the Iowa Hawkeyes. They had a bye week to get refreshed and ready to go, a couple of days off of practice. So I think seeing vintage Iowa basketball where there's high assists, they're sharing the basketball and getting excited for their teammates, that's when Iowa is at their best.
And the Hawkeyes will certainly try to be at their best this afternoon. Little bounce back after the game at Ohio State. For Nebraska, Darian White a 5'6" graduate from Montana State, averaging 8.5, will be the point guard for Nebraska. She'll be joined by Oregon transfer Jazz Shelley, though she's been at Nebraska for a few years. Natalie Potts, averaging 10.8 and 5.7 rebounds. And she's the one that Coach Bler talked about. Could be a candidate and might be the leading candidate for Freshman of the Year in the Big Ten. In the middle is Alexis Markowski, averaging a double-double at 16.8 and 10.5 boards a contest. And Maddie Krall at 5'9", averaging 2.8. For the Hawkeyes, same lineup with Kate Martin averaging 11.4, Gabby Marshall at 6 points a ball game. Hannah Stalkey at 12.9, had 10 against Ohio State. And then in the backcourt, Molly Davis averaging 7.5, coming off of 14 last Sunday against the Buckeyes. And Caitlin Clark, of course, with 45 at Ohio State, averaging 33.1 points a game. Want to remind you that for a taste of unique flavors you'll love, stop by Molly's Cupcakes in downtown Iowa City for homemade cupcakes, cookies, bars, and coffee drinks. Molly's Cupcakes, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Big hand for Kate Martin as she tosses a t-shirt into the crowd. Also, the Hawkeyes are the game sponsor today. Iowa's home to some great institutions, of course, like the University of Iowa and also Iowa Concrete Industry. Today's game sponsor, Iowa Ready Mix Concrete Association and the Iowa Concrete Paving Association are proud that Iowa is known as the Concrete State. Amy Williams, in her 8th year, has a record of 127 and 105. Head coach for Nebraska. And, of course, Elisa Bluter announced to the crowd. And a big ovation for her as today's opening tip is brought to you by Farmers State Bank. Earn $250 when you open an eligible checking account at the Tiffin branch or online. Get rewarded for banking with FSB. Visit myfsbonline.com for complete details. Subject to approval, minimum $50 deposit. Requires e-statements and direct deposit. Member FDIC. Nebraska in their traveling red uniforms. Script Nebraska in white across the front with white numbers. Hawkeyes in their traditional home white uniforms. The black block Iowa across the front with black numbers. Hawks will head to the basket to our right. Nebraska to our left. Markowski will jump with Hannah Stalkey. Ball in the air. The tap won by Markowski of Nebraska. And the first possession goes to the Huskers with White in between the circles. Brings it left side, hands it off to Jazz Shelley as Nebraska works it around the arc, and then we'll try to get it down on both blocks. Here's a penetrating move in the paint by Krall, but she kicks it back, and we're under 9. Here's Shelley down the left side. Kicks it back to Markowski at the top of the key, and an offensive foul. Markowski.
And that's big for Iowa to draw the first foul on Alexis Markowski here with less than 30 seconds taken off the clock. Rob, I think I counted 4 ball screens in that play, so it's what Gabby Marshall was playing those left and right all night.
Yeah, 40 minutes of that will make for a long afternoon. At the elbow, Stalkey. Pump fakes, goes down the right side of the lane, goes glass with it, no good, just came off the right side. Terrific move, rebound down to Nebraska. No score, early going.
It's good to see Stolke come out aggressive after a little bit of a struggle at certain points in the Ohio State game, going straight at Markowski to try to draw that second foul.
And she knocked the ball away from Potts, and here's the Hawkeyes with Clark down court. Three-pointer won't go, missed it from the top of the key. Rebound to White of Nebraska. Brings it across the timeline. Good speed. She'll pull up from 12. No good off the right side of the rim. And a long rebound by Kate Martin. Brings it into the front court for the Hawkeyes. And here's Clark, wide open, free. This time buries it just right at the top of the key, and the Hawks strike first.
That's the kind of play that Coach Williams won't be happy about for Nebraska. That everybody's scouting reports has find Caitlin Clark early and often, and she was all by herself, knocked down that wide open three.
One of the few times she'll get that wide open today, I'm sure. Here is White off a screen and kicks it back to Potts for three. No good, straight away. Clark the rebound, pushing the ball. Bounce pass, down court, layup. Kate Martin, Hawks 5-0.
On Iowa in transition, just looking unstoppable here at the start, putting Nebraska on their heels and taking it right back at them off the miss.
And Amy Williams didn't like what she saw here in almost the first 2 minutes of the game and calls a timeout, and will get Kendall Coley in off the bench. Of course, the sister of former Hawkeye Chase Coley.
Absolutely. Chase Coley, a big part of this Iowa Hawkeye program, one that has stayed close. And it's actually ironic, there's two former Iowa Hawkeyes with their younger sisters on this Nebraska Cornhusker team. Kendall Coley being one, and the other being Annika Stewart, younger sister of Hannah Stewart, who's here in the building today with her little boys. It's always fun to see alumni back in the building.
No doubt about that. Hawk fans, you can experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels, the Homewood Suites and the Home 2 Suites by Hilton. Each offer guests spacious suites, complimentary breakfast, 24-hour fitness center, pool, hot tub, guest laundry, and convenient locations. Let their warm and friendly staff take care of you and your family when you visit Hawkeye Country. Well, you know the situation you're in if you're Amy Williams when you call a timeout at the 8-11 mark, down 5-0. You just have a sense that, hey, you don't want a 10-0, 12-0 run to start the game.
Yeah, exactly. Stop the bleeding early, and I think she saw a couple things she didn't like. She saw an illegal screen by Alexis Markowski, which is big for them. Anytime she's in foul trouble, the Nebraska Cornhusker numbers go down when she has to be on the bench. And secondly, leaving Caitlin Clark open in the open court it's just simply a no-no. Rob. Yeah, that's something that they talked about all week in practice. Seeing Iowa get out in transition like that, it's a smart move by Coach Williams. Have her team get their legs, catch their breath, take a second, and regroup before coming back out.
And the Hawkeyes, which typically this year have really started fast, a lot of energy at both ends of the floor so far.
Yeah, I think the defensive effort is what I've been most impressed with so far. You can tell that they know their personnel. For example, that last play, we saw Potts take the three-point field goal, but that's because Kate Martin, the one guarding her, was sagging off of her. They've identified her as a shooter that they want to make prove it. Usually that means if they make 2 threes, okay, we'll start coming out there, closing out tighter. But for now, they're going to sag off of her and play those ball screens, play their personnel.
So Chase Coley, the 6'2 junior, first player off the bench for Nebraska. She's always looking for three-point shots. As you heard from Coach Bler in the pregame show, Nebraska, the players they bring in off the bench, they are immediately looking for that three-point shot. Out of the timeout, here's Nebraska with White. Kicks it back to Markowski for three, left wing, rimming no. Davis with the rebound. Flips a pass to Clark on the right wing, gets into the paint. Caitlin drops it off for, that was Stalky in there, and then she had it blocked away. The rebound taken down by Nebraska. 5-0 in favor of the Hawkeyes. Here's Shelley in between the circles. Floats a pass in deep, and Coley missed the easy shot. And the ball batted up in the air by White as Davis tried to get it down court, recovers, gets it to Marshall for three, left wing, no. And the ball tapped out of bounds by Kate Martin on the rebound attempt, as the Huskers will have it.
I think Hawks got a little bit lucky the last couple of times down the floor, had some miscues on their ball screen coverage, had two people on one. Coley missed the layup, kind of lucked out for the Hawks.
Nebraska still has not scored. Jazz Shelley drives down the right side of the paint, drops it into Markowski, immediately tied up. And it'll be ball possession favoring the Hawkeyes as Callan Hake, averaging 6.8 a contest, in for Nebraska.
Callan Hake, an emotional leader for the Nebraska team, had the chance to watch them a couple times this year, and when she comes in, you generally see the energy level of the Nebraska team go up. They really look to her for leadership on the court.
3 minutes in, Hawkeyes 5, Nebraska nothing. And at the free throw line, trying to make a move is Hannah Stolke, and is called for traveling. Just made a move before she put the ball on the floor.
And I like what Iowa was doing there. I think they're trying to isolate Markowski, giving the ball to Hannah Stolke at the high post and letting her go one-on-one. It's a right call, try to draw the second foul and get Stolke some confidence, maybe more importantly.
Annika Stewart, as you talked about, Catherine, into the game. Three-pointer, Shelley, no good, left wing. Rebound taken down by Caitlin Clark. Across the timeline. Hake comes out on her, drops a pass inside to Hannah Stolke. This time will not be denied as she gets her first basket. 7-0 Hawks.
A beautiful pass from Clark. She draws so much defensive help that these people open up. It's like they said last week, part the Red Seas, and they're wide open for layups.
Here's Shelley on the left wing, pulls up her dribble. Gets it to Hake, and she'll fire a three-pointer, top of the key. Didn't hit anything except the window, and Clark gets it to Martin across the timeline at the top of the key, drives down right side, and a one-handed bounce pass inside to Hannah Stolke, and she is fouled on the way up. A no-look pass from the right side to the left side by Kate Martin, and it seems like, Catherine, nobody guarding Hannah Stolke down low.
Well, you're just seeing so much respect being paid to the Iowa guards is really what's happening. They're sending 2 and 3 people at Marshall, Clark, Martin when they're getting into the paint. And the good thing is Iowa has such good passers with such good vision that it's leaving Stolke open. They're hitting her with beautiful assists. But I laugh seeing Kate Martin make passes like that. She likens herself to be something of a quarterback, having been her dad being a football coach the whole time growing up. So you can bet when they watch that one on film, Martin will be letting everybody know she's QB1 on this team.
Hannah Stolke knocks down both free throws. She has 4. And that gets Addie O'Grady and Sydney Falter into the game. 9-0 Hawkeyes. Jazz Shelley, long 2, no good off the back of the bracket. Rebound down to Feuerbach, also into the game. Gets it to Clark at the free throw line. Feuerbach, Clark on the left wing. Hesitates. Behind the back pass. Inside O'Grady. She's doubled along the baseline. Kicks it back to a Falter. Now to Clark. Left wing. Caitlin fakes right, goes left toward the baseline. Lost control of the ball. Dug up by Nebraska. Huskers on the move with Kroll. And now we'll slow the pace and work it around the arc as Hake drops it off for Kroll. Now to Markowski for 3. No good off the right side of the rim. She's 0 for 2 from deep and has not scored, nor have the Huskers. Here's Clark in between the circles. Goes right, and a blocking foul will be called on Callan Hake.
Such a 50-50 play. What a lot of times Caitlin gets called for offensive fouls out there on the perimeter when guards try to get position, and you know, some would call it a flop, some would say they're just trying to get the charge call, but it's tough for Caitlin to operate within a space where people just go flying with the littlest of contact.
Ball possession for the Hawkeyes. They get it in. Here's O'Grady at the top of the key. Right side, Clark fakes a 3. Now drives it to the left side. Gets it to Kate Martin deep in the corner. 3 ball, no good. Did everything but go in. Hake comes around with the rebound. Hawks 9-0, and Hake goes down the left side of the lane, has it knocked away by Clark, and Caitlin will pick up her first with a reach.
It's kind of another 50-50, right? When you reach in there, even if you get all ball, it's a tough call for officials, and so sometimes you're not going to get that call. I think it was a good defensive effort by Caitlin. Sometimes that's not going to go your way. It was a great push by Callan Hake.
And she misfires on the first free throw attempt. Left that one short. Clark got an explanation from one of the officials. Second one is good.
A little bit of a track meet here early, Rob. Do you think it's the fresh legs of the bye week, or do you think it's because it's Taylor Swift Day in here? Got a lot of,
that's right.
Little extra energy.
Well, that always will bring a little extra energy, right?
I got my bracelet on. You got yours?
Well, nobody gave me one yet. I saw you were handed one.
Well, Hannah Bluter, Coach Bluter's daughter, hooked me up before the pregame.
Empty possession for the Hawkeyes. And a lob pass inside to Markowski, goes up with the right hand and scores. First field goal for Nebraska. It's 9-3 Hawkeyes.
Pretty good defense there by O'Grady, staying straight up, and I think that's the best thing you can do against Markowski is be straight up to make her have to shoot over you.
Here's Kylie Feuerbach on the left wing, drives into the paint, tried to get a pass inside to O'Grady, and it's off the leg of Nebraska, and the Huskers come away with it. And then Feuerbach knocked the ball away from Shelley in the front court, goes out of bounds, will stay with Nebraska. as Molly Davis comes back for the Hawkeyes. And you heard Coach Bluter say way too many turnovers here in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit sloppy, I think, for both teams. And quite honestly, Rob, sometimes when one team is struggling a little bit offensively, you kind of rise or sink to the same level. And so that's what I think Coach Bluter's message will be, is play our game. Play to the level of Iowa basketball and don't worry about what the opposing team is doing.
Hawks by 6, Nebraska with the basketball. Coming off a screen is Disley. Her three-pointer is no good from the right wing. And an offensive board for Nebraska. Work it around the arc. Here is Hake, dribbles to the free throw line. Now Markowski trying to make a move on the right block. Blocked away by O'Grady. But Alexis Markowski gets it with 4 to shoot. She has the ball on the right wing, tries to drive inside. Stolen away by Kylie Feuerbach.
Really
Great
good defense by Kylie. She's getting her hands in there, getting that steal.
And a down court pass to O'Grady, who goes hard to the rim and is fouled.
Yeah, Kylie Feuerbach gets in these games, and she's in there to mix things up on the defensive end. She's really long, got quick hands, really aggressive on the defensive end, and she made that play happen. Though Iowa giving up some offensive rebounds, I think that's something to shore up a little bit, but good to see the second effort by Feuerbach creating that steal in the transition.
And O'Grady at the line knocks down the free throw. Remember, she had really good minutes in the third and fourth quarters at Ohio State. Ended up with 7 points. Nisley picked up the foul, short on the second attempt. Rebound to Nebraska. Hawks 10, Huskers 3. 3:20 left to go first quarter. Here's Jazz Shelley on the left wing. Feuerbach comes out on her, and Shelley kind of weaves her way into the paint. And now 3 seconds.
Yeah, Markowski knew she was in there for too long, camping out a little bit. But also a good ball screen defense from Iowa. They're getting some guard-to-guard actions where Iowa is able to switch that with Sydney Falter and Kylie Feuerbach. Makes life a lot easier when you can switch things and not have to come back on the recovery.
Nebraska with Shelley will pick up Clark in the backcourt. She brings it into the front court. Gets it to Stalkey at the top of the key. Hawks 10, Nebraska 3. Three-pointer no good. A Falter left wing. Long rebound down to Callan Hake. Hake hands it off to Shelley. Now, lob pass inside Markowski. Blocked by Molly Davis, but Markowski got it back, laid it up and in.
Markowski gets a lot of points that way, getting her own rebounds on short misses and then putting it right back up, which is something Coach Bluter talked about in the pregame show. I'm sure they talked about all week, especially after last weekend at Ohio State. A lot of second chance points, and it's too easy. It's too easy for other teams when you give those up, and just it's kind of a backbreaker for you, insult to injury, and try to limit that as Markowski moves forward in this quarter.
And Clark tried to get it inside to Hannah Stalkey and couldn't handle the pass. Timing was a little bit off, and the Hawks turn it over. Huskers in the front court. Here's Potts. Almost has it stolen away by Marshall. Cross-court pass to Hake. Fakes left, drives paint, shot no. Blocked away by Davis and a Falter.
How about Molly Davis getting blocks of probably the shortest player on the court?
In the paint.
Yeah. And then even on much taller players, 6'1", 6'2", she's going up against. Molly plays much bigger than her size. It's something you got to appreciate about her game.
Hawks by 5. Nebraska will inbounds the ball along the baseline. Get a pass to Shelley, and she'll fire a three-pointer right wing and drill it.
Yeah, Shelley's a good player. Some of those are going to happen. That's 5th or 6th year Aussie.
It feels like it, right? Transfer from Oregon, and Hawkeyes turn it over again. Steal by Hake, and then a pass intended for Markowski on the inside was batted up in the air, picked up by Stalkey. Now in the hands of Marshall in the front court in between the circles. Hawks by 2 as Iowa's missed the field goals, have not scored a field goal in almost 5 minutes.
Just kind of a cool thing off the court over this last summer. Kate Martin got to participate in a program sponsored by the NBA, sort of a leadership and coaching learning summit. Jazz Shelley also attended, and so those two got to spend some time together and, share their memories and experiences of their time here in the Big Ten.
Hawks get it in with 7 to shoot, 1:30 left to go first quarter. Here's Davis in between the circles and gets to the free throw line. Floater, paint, got it.
The teardrop. So pretty when Molly gets space in the paint. She works those angles, be able to just drop that in. Really pretty.
Went through 2 defenders, knew the time on the shot clock was coming down inside of 2 seconds, and we have a foul away from the ball on the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, just going back to that quick story about Martin and Shelley getting to know each other a little bit last June at the NBA Summit in Vegas. Things like that I think are really special. This conference does so many good things for these athletes, and they can be the strongest of competitors on the court, but then off the floor become friends and like lifelong companions.
After the foul by Marshall, Shelley on the inbounds play drops in another three-pointer from the right wing, and Nebraska pulls to within 1. We're under a minute first quarter. Hawks 12, Huskers 11. Here's Martin in between the circles. Puts the ball on the floor, gets in the paint, kicks it left side. Gabby Marshall 3, no. Rebound weak side, taken down by Nisley. Gets it ahead to Moriarty. Now lob pass into Markowski. She's doubled. Goes up, fade away, right block, no. But there's Jazz Shelley with the rebound.
One of the first double teams we've seen on the day from Iowa, but I think we'll see that more and more frequently. Getting the double team, helping off of folks, making life harder for Markowski.
Shelley misfires from 3 off a Markowski screen on the right wing. Falter down with the rebound, gets it to Davis, who will walk the ball across the timeline. Iowa by 1, and they can close the quarter with the final possession. We're at 10 seconds. Davis, 40 feet from the hoop. Gets to the top of the key, turns the corner, whips it to Marshall. She steps in, 15-footer, baseline, good.
Nice execution. That's when those shooters on the wings become open, and then credit Marshall. She sees them flying out at her, respecting her three-point ball. 1 or 2 dribble pull-up. Really nice. And
now all 5 starters for the Hawkeyes scored in the first quarter. Hawk fans, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield know that you're here for every fadeaway, every alley-oop, and every buzzer beater. And Wellmark is here for every moment as well, with trusted health coverage committed to making healthcare better. Learn more at wellmark.com/hoops. We have played 1, Iowa 14, Nebraska 11. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Hey Hawkeyes, while your hard-working class are on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
Hawks by 3 at the end of 1 and set up the best zone defense from home heating costs this winter. Tune up your furnace, seal up drafts around your home, and visit MidAmericanEnergy.com to find more ways to keep warm with less energy. The officials today, Brian Hall, Roy Galbian, and Maggie Timon.
Very veteran officiating crew that Iowa has seen a lot over the last couple of seasons. Roy being a really well-respected WNBA official as well. And Rob, looks like we're seeing Iowa start the second quarter in that 2-3 zone. Very commonly done by Coach Bluter's team, switching up the defense to start the quarter.
Saw a lot of zone against Ohio State. Markowski down on the left block, an air ball, but a weak side rebound by Nebraska. And then kick it out for a mid-range jumper by Natalie Potts. Second chance opportunities.
6th offensive rebound of the game, and that's what you give up in in the zone sometimes, he's a little bit harder to find someone to box out, but that'll be a key for the Hawks moving forward, especially if they stay in the zone.
Hawks with a 1-point lead. Clark for three, left wing, no. And a foul on the rebound. And it looks like Hannah Stolke will pick up her first.
A lot of times against teams like Nebraska who want to run so much ball screen offense, the zone defense makes you get to avoid playing all of those because you're playing your zone coverage. You get to just switch off on those and hand off the player. So I think Iowa likes the zone look against Nebraska just to limit all that ball screen action.
Inside pass to Markowski. Kicks it back out to Moriarty. And now White, the point guard, in between the circles. Hawks by 1. Jazz Shelley. She's been hot. White fakes a three, drives baseline. Shot is up and no good on the baseline from 10, but is fouled by Kate Martin, her first.
Perhaps some slight embellishment, but a smart play there by White. She's a really effective player at the mid-major level at Montana State for the last 4 years and transferred. Been a really nice addition to this Nebraska program.
First team all Big Sky and knocks down the free throw. That's her first point. Second one also good. Coming off of 12 points in a loss at Penn State.
Seeing Nebraska pick it up in some full court pressure. Looks to be maybe just some token player-to-player defense just to try to slow down the Hawks' transition attack.
And Nebraska grabs a 1-point advantage. A little over 1 minute into quarter number 2. Hawks with the basketball. Clark, free throw line extended right. Dribbles behind her back, gets in the paint, goes up strong, and finishes off the window against White.
Yeah, a little bit of a height advantage with Clark over White. Just take your time, was really patient. Didn't see a double team come that time, and when Clark gets a one-on-one look, it's usually going to be advantage Clark.
Here's Shelley in the front court for the Huskers. Gets it into the corner. Moriarty faked a three. Gets it back to Jazz Shelley. Way out on the logo. Gets a screen, top of the key. Then a kickback pass to Petrie into the game. Three-pointer is no good. Rebound to Clark. Racing down the court at the free throw line. Backs her way in. She's doubled. Kicks it out to Gabby Marshall. She fumbled the ball and gets it back to Clark, who drives into the paint. Scoop shot is up. No good. Didn't have a great angle that time. Rebound taken down by White of Nebraska. She's at the top of the key. Will pull up from 15 and gets the roll.
See Nebraska trying to do exactly what Iowa did to them in the first quarter, pushing off of the miss and going straight at him in transition. Iowa back in a player-to-player defense, got out of that zone pretty quickly.
Hawks by 1. Here's Clark down on the right block, passes it off to Martin. Tried to get one more pass down on the block to Stolke, couldn't handle it. Ball goes out of bounds. Turnovers hampering the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, too many turnovers, but I think Iowa just needs to slow it down, maybe run a set play, get a good possession where they kind of get the crowd back into this. And Rob, you see this crowd, it's all black and gold. There's very little red, maybe a little purple. You some Sacramento Kings with the Murray brothers
right.
Got some Sacramento fans in here, but for the most part, it's a Hawkeye-friendly crowd and get them back into it.
As always, and a wild shot from the left wing by Potts. Rebound taken down by the Hawks. Down court, Davis slips it into Kate Martin, lays it up and in on the left side.
Just like that, great attack by Martin, and so unselfish with the dump pass down to Davis at the block.
We go back and forth. Now the Hawkeyes lead by 1. 7 minutes left to go, second quarter. Lob pass intended for Petrie, intercepted by Stolke. Clark now to Marshall, gets it back to Clark for 3, left wing, rattles around and pops out. Hawks have had a couple of those from deep. Rebound Nebraska. Here's White on the right wing. Potts comes over for a screen. White 15 feet away. Gets it left side. Pull-up jumper by Moriarty on the baseline is good.
Nebraska just they look comfortable right now in their offensive flow, and I think that's something maybe Iowa turn up the pressure, maybe try a little something different to try to get Nebraska out of this flow that they've found here in the second quarter.
Here's Clark down on the left block, goes up and is hammered from behind as she received a pass from Kate Martin. A hard cut and a foul on Nebraska.
I think it's smart for Caitlin to get herself to the free throw line. You know, sometimes when the threes aren't necessarily going early, that's usually a place that she can kind of find her shooting rhythm. She does that little kind of mock shot to imitate her shooting motion, catch her breath, get her shooting feel back, and then go from there. And that's usually when the floodgates open.
Moriarty picks up her first. Clark will try to tie this game at the free throw line with her first. It is good. Caitlin with 6. Of course, coming off of 45 at Ohio State, needs 43 to get into third place all time in the NCAA scoring list. Second free throw swishes this one, and the Hawks regain the lead by 1 at 20-19. 6:05 left to go, second quarter. Clark with a steal, then re-stolen by Nebraska in between the circles, and let's see if this is going to be a jump ball situation.
A little extracurricular activity maybe after the tie up there, but it's all in good fun, good spirit of the rivalry, Rob.
Well, this has been a good rivalry. The Hawkeyes have obviously won many of the games in the past several years. Remember some great Caitlin Clark performances early in her career over in Lincoln. So Hawks with the possession, drop it inside. O'Grady wide open, lays it up and in the paint.
Beautiful set play that Iowa put in this week. A little back screen action for the center this time. It happened to be O'Grady. Just draw the center up and then hit her on the back cut off the back screen. Really nice action.
Hawks by 3. Shelley with the ball, gets a screen at the top of the key, spins, and then pulls back out to the right wing. 10 to shoot. And Nebraska now with a whistle, and a blocking foul on an illegal screen is going to be called on Jazz Shelley.
Well, I'm happy to see that get called in this game, because what you see more and more happening in the women's game is this sort of player puts their hands up in the air and they run through it. They really are. They're setting a screen, but it doesn't look like it because their arms are up in the air and they're blowing through there. So I think that's a good call by the official to show that that stuff's not going to fly.
Hawks by 3 with the basketball. Here is Marshall. Free throw line extended right. Drops it into O'Grady. Goes up strong on the right block. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound taken down by Maddie Kroll. Now in the front court for Nebraska. Here is Hake near the top of the key, about a foot away, and finds Kroll. And now Nebraska will reset things as she's out near the timeline with 9 to shoot. Drives down the right side of the paint, goes up and under with the left hand. Banked it too strong, but gets her own rebound. Kicks it back out to Hake. Molly Davis on her. Now 12 to shoot. Hake, free throw line extended right. Keeps that dribble going. Now gets it to Markowski out behind the arc. Tried to get it to Shelley. Threw that pass really hard, though she was only about 4 feet away. Couldn't handle it. Ball goes out of bounds over to the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, forcing the 10th turnover of the half for the Huskers, and something Coach Williams will be talking about in this timeout, taking care of the basketball. For Iowa, it's limiting some of these second chance opportunities. A few too many offensive rebounds been given up.
That's 3 turnovers now for Nebraska, the last 159. 4 turnovers for the Huskers, the last 321. We do have timeout on the court. We're in the second quarter with 4:38 left to go. Iowa 22, Nebraska 19. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more. To keep corn growing Iowa.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hawks have led by as many as 9, currently lead 22-19 with 4:28 left to go until halftime. The Hawks have led for 12:57. Nebraska for 1:16. Hawk fans, you can drive your team to a victory this season by filling up with unleaded 88 with quick rewards at any Quick Star location. Fuel up with 8 gallons or more of unleaded 88, and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win great prize packs throughout the season. Quick Star, proud partner of Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball. And the Hawks do have the ball. Here's Clark on the right wing. Drives, paint shot is up and no good as the Nebraska defense collapsed. Nebraska down court. Wide open three-pointer is up and no good by Krall, but the rebound and the putback is good for Kendall Coley, her first basket.
Yeah, a bit of a defensive transition miscue there by Iowa. Nobody found Coley, able to get the easy rebound and putback.
Clark coming off a screen, misfires from the top of the key, three-pointer. Hawks by 1. Nebraska gets the rebound. Shelley brings it across the timeline. Works it right wing to Hake. And she stops at the top of the key, looks, finds Shelley, being defended by Marshall on the right side. Fakes left, goes right, spins at the elbow, kicks it back out. Long three-pointer is good by Callan Hake. She has 4.
That was a deep three from Hake for Nebraska to regain the lead. I think, again, here, this is where you see Coach Bler look to run some set plays and get the type of look that she's looking for. Easy shots at the rim.
Feuerbach gets the ball from Marshall. Now back to Gabby out near the timeline. Nebraska by 2. Here's Clark on the right wing, being defended this time by Coley. Clark, deep three is short off the right side of the rim. Markowski has the ball taken away by Sydney. A falter, and the layup is good.
Oh, man, Sydney Falter just has a nose for the basketball, doesn't she, Rob? Finds herself in the right place at the right time for that putback.
And shows that toughness, just ripped the ball away from Nebraska's center. Markowski now gets it in deep on the left block, turns toward the middle, shot window, no. And a push is going to be called on Addie O'Grady, her first.
Yeah, it's a tough thing for O'Grady. You know, when she stays straight up, she's pretty much either a block shot or an altered shot every time. But it's when she starts to lean a little bit that's almost a no-brainer call for these officials. And Markowski, now an experienced center in this league, knows exactly what she wants to do, to go straight at the contact.
And she's at the free throw line. One dribble, right-hander puts it up and in. She has 5. Nebraska goes up by 1. As a proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes, U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Second free throw good. Nebraska by 2. 2:35 left to go until halftime. Here's a Falter, left wing, three-pointer, drills it.
That's an addition to a Falter's game here, even I would say within the last few weeks, Rob. I mean, she's always in the gym. She's always working at it, so it's really great to see that translate for a Falter in game play.
Talked to her at Hawk Talk a couple of weeks ago, and she mentioned, I've got that in my game, just getting to use it a little bit more as Markowski gets free for Nebraska underneath and puts it up off the window and scores.
Yeah, Markowski got free with Stolke going for that steal there. You can't blame her with her athleticism. I think if I were that athletic, I'd probably be going for steals too, but it led to the miscue.
Hannah Stolke couldn't handle a pass. Quickly down court, a three-pointer by Callan Hake. Up and good from the left wing, and she has 7, and Nebraska goes up by 4, 31-27. Coach Bluter calls a timeout. We'll take a break. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from their field.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
Hawks possession out of the timeout, work the ball around the outer arc, and then Kate Martin drives down the left side of the lane and goes up strong and is hammered on the right hand and will shoot a pair of free throws. Martin's first is good. Kate with 5, and it's 31-28. Nebraska 1:35 left to go in the first half.
Kate's almost automatic from the free throw line. Wanted to wait till after she put that second one in to say that, not to jinx her, but she really is shooting around 90% on the year from the free throw line. So her getting there is always a good thing.
90.9 on the season. Martin with 6. Here's Markowski. Foot off the left block. Cross-court pass to Moriarty. Three-pointer in the air, no. Martin, the long rebound. Brings it into the front court. Hawks down 2. Now to Marshall for 3, left wing, no good. Rebound, put back is good by Sydney Affolter. How big has she been?
Oh, Affolter is such a game changer for this Iowa team. I mean, she makes all the little things happen. Again, sometimes they don't show up on the stat sheet for her. Today they are. Makes me really happy to see for Affolter. And it was great ball movement by the Hawkeyes, too.
Drive-in layup by Moriarty with the left hand is no good. Hawks get the rebound. Clark finds a wide-open Martin underneath.
What a pass. Clark making her argument for being QB1, Rob.
Got a couple of them. Martin with 8.
This crowd. This is exactly what Iowa needs. Get this crowd behind them.
Hawks by 2. 35 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Jazz Shelley on the left wing. Now the ball goes inside to Markowski. Moriarty working that left side. Now back to Shelley. Fires a 3 left wing. Too strong off the window. Hawks can hold for 1.
Really good defensive possessions the last 2 times down for the Hawks. They're throwing that double team at Markowski and forcing the kick out and people who don't necessarily want to be shooting those shots.
Clark in between the circles. Gets a screen. Fade away. 3. Drills it from the top of the key. And that'll do it for the second quarter.
What a shot from Clark. I mean, is there a player in the country you can think of besides her you want the ball in her hands in that situation?
No.
Simple answer. A simple no, and I would have to agree.
So the Hawks with a 9-0 run. The last 134 connected on 3 of 3 from the field. That brings us to the half. Iowa 36, Nebraska 31. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from their field.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Whether you're building a backyard fence for your family's new best friend or firing up the excavator for your next commercial project, a free and simple call can save you from expensive fines and even save your life. Call 811 at least 2 days before you start your next project to have underground utility lines located and marked. At Mid-American Energy, your safety is our #1 priority. So, make it your priority to call 811 before you dig. Paid for by the customers of Mid-American Energy.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat. Nice. Which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawkeye Women's Basketball. Brought to you by Authentic Brand, the premium label of choice. Hy-Vee, score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Lottery, be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. Honda, to see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. And by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. This is the Bud Light Halftime Show. Now back to courtside.
And welcome into the halftime show brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The Hawkeyes have led for 14:58. Nebraska for 3:09. Lead by 5 at 36-31. And Catherine, what a momentum boost there at the end with that Caitlin Clark 3.
Yeah, a little run from the Hawks there. Kind of started with Sydney Fulter and her efforts on the offensive glass, and then followed up by the Clark buzzer beater to end the half. Those always get her going, and look to see that kind of springboard her into that second half. Looking at the box score, I think it kind of tells the story of a low-scoring half, at least by Iowa basketball standards. You look at their team shooting percentages, 3-point field goals, 3 for 13 for 23%. A lot lower than what Iowa's used to shooting, and specifically looking at Clark, 2 for 7, Marshall 0 for 3, Martin 0 for 1. So I think in the second half, you can get the three ball going a little bit, because as we know, Iowa teams, they're going to put them up. It's just a matter of whether they're going to go down. Just some individual performances. Clark leading the way for the Hawks with 10 total points, but on 3 of 10 shooting. I think we'll see her continue to get to the rim, and things will open up for her as they typically do. Scoring rounded out there. Other leaders, Kate Martin with 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting, 0 for 1 from 3, but from 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And then Sydney Fulter coming off the bench, shooting 3 for 4, has a 3-point field goal, but what you really like to see from her is the 2 offensive rebounds, leading to back points and momentum for the Hawkeyes. Jumping over to the Huskers, team-wise, first thing you notice is the 10 turnovers. That's something that Coach Williams will certainly be looking to shore up, and some of those credit the Hawkeye defense, but some have been unforced. They start playing a little bit too fast, so the 10 turnovers definitely something to note there. Secondly, their offensive rebounds. Huskers with 8 offensive rebounds to the Iowa only having 2, both of those belonging to Sydney and Fulter, that leading to 9 second chance points. Individuals leading the way for the Huskers. Markowski leading all scorers with 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting. She's also got 8 rebounds, again, 3 of those offensive. Callan Hake off the bench, hit a couple of threes, get some momentum for the Huskers. She's got 7 points. And then lastly, Jazz Shelley on 6 points on 2 of 6 shooting, but 4 assists for Jazz Shelley.
That is our halftime stats report, brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the all-new, totally free Hy-Vee Perks membership. We are at the half on the Bud Light Halftime Show. It is Iowa 36, Nebraska 31. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student-athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student-athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
Escape to Italy and Sicily in September 2024 with Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited. Enjoy this melting pot of multicultural customs and cuisine and beautiful landscapes. After taking in Rome, we'll head down to the dramatic Sorrento coast and then journey from Italy's heel to its toe of Sicily. To learn more about this or any vacation, contact Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com. That's duagency.com.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat. Nice. Which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Iowa. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
Welcome back to the Bud Light Halftime Show as Iowa leads Nebraska 36-31. And as we told you, today's game sponsor, of course, I'd like to thank Iowa Ready Mix Concrete Association and the Iowa Concrete Paving Association. I'm certainly proud to know that Iowa is known as the Concrete State, and Greg Mulder, the Executive Director, has joined us. And Greg, just wanted to get some information from you about the partnership, not only with the Hawkeye basketball team and today's sponsorship, but the University of Iowa School of Engineering. Tell me about that partnership as well.
You bet. I would think the entire world would get as excited about concrete being the #1 manufactured used product in the entire world as they did as that last three-pointer Caitlin made. But,
I like it. Well, I just had my porch redone, so we're in good shape.
Yeah, it's great. So, our partnership with the University of Iowa is critical. If we can help train and educate those students while they're in school, we're also donate not only over $100,000 in scholarships, as you mentioned earlier, we also donate to their labs so people can have the latest technology and the hands-on experience as they enter into the workforce.
What about the civil engineering aspect as well?
Civil engineering, that's where we focus here at Iowa. Yeah.
And kind of the main message that you wanted to share today, not only with the engineering students, but listeners that might want to learn more about working in this type of industry.
Well, I tell you what, I got back yesterday from the World of Concrete. There's 70,000 people that joined together in Las Vegas for several days to just get together. This is a large industry. It's almost $1 billion industry here in the state of Iowa. Between the natural resources that we have, between our aggregate, our stone, the cement plants that here in Iowa, this is a very large industry in Iowa. There's plenty of opportunity for whatever skill level or whatever schools or that you have. Yeah.
If people looking for that opportunity, where's the best place for them to go?
Well, we're a good resource. We represent about 90% of the concrete that's placed on concrete pavements or the ready mixes that are in every city in the state.
Social media.
We're on the look for Concrete State on your LinkedIn, on your Instagram, or your Facebook. We're there. We're in that field. So
I like it.
You bet.
Appreciate you stopping by.
You bet. Thanks a lot.
Greg Mulder, the
Hawks.
Executive Director. Absolutely. Go Hawks. The Iowa Ready Mixed Concrete Association and the Iowa Concrete Paving Association, today's game sponsor. We'll be back with more after the break as the Hawkeyes lead by 5. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corn grows Iowa.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Both teams back out on the court. Iowa 36, Nebraska 31. Checking some scores around the country for you right now at the half. Iowa State leads number 24 West Virginia 40-38. Cincinnati and Texas later on. Same with BYU and number 4 Kansas State still at 19-1. Only loss of the year to the Hawkeyes. Number 17 Gonzaga at San Francisco, and Notre Dame and UConn later on tonight. Iowa by 5. We'll be back with more after the break. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Did you know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources? Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, our partner in a collaborative, ENGIE North America, is now offering part-time, on-campus positions where you can get hands-on, career-inspiring experience in sustainable utility systems management. Check out the jobs and apply now at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes. The hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel. The Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, the area's premier realtor, and Melrose Meadows. Voted Iowa City's best retirement community. Jill Armstrong and her team strive to make every buyer and seller at ease with the real estate process. If you are in the market to buy or sell a home, contact the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty. For all your real estate needs, call 319-631-5455.
We're back here live with second half action from Carver Hawkeye Arena. First play of the half for the Huskers, turnover. So Iowa coming back at him on the offensive end. Quick look back at the box score from that first half. A couple things to note. Points in the paint. Iowa led the way with 18 points in the paint. Nebraska, it's 10. Second chance points. Nebraska had 9. Iowa with 4. Fast break points. 8 for Iowa and 5 for Nebraska. Good bucket there for the Hawkeyes to start this second half. As Potts answers with a 3-point field goal of her own. Again, Iowa not playing her for that field goal, so that's something that they're going to be okay with. Not going to be too upset to give up a 3 to Potts. the leading candidate for Freshman of the Year in the conference. Iowa back on the offensive end. Davis attacking. Kicks out to Martin for three. A little bit short. But an offensive rebound from Davis.
And now to Gabby Marshall, who steps in there and knocks it down from 15 feet. Use that pump fake, Catherine, to her advantage like she did in the second quarter.
Yeah, Marshall's counter move, something that she's really improved this year in her 5th year of playing. She knows people are playing her for the three-pointer. So she's getting that one dribble pull-up, and she's almost automatic with it right now.
And Clark, coast to coast, after a Nebraska miss, lays it up and in. Just like the momentum at the end of the second quarter, Hawks start fast here in the third.
2 quick turnovers for Nebraska. Exactly the opposite of how Coach Williams wanted to start the second half. But you can hear this crowd get behind the Hawkeyes. It's a great start to the half.
42-34, 2 minutes in. Three-pointer straight away is up and no good by Potts. Offensive rebound, and the shot is up and no good by the point guard White. But she is fouled.
Yeah, so the concerning thing about the offensive rebounds for Iowa is that this conference gets so familiar, especially as we approach the second half of the conference season. And as coaches watch these films, what happens is you get a target on your back. They watch your film and they tell their teams, attack the offensive glass, attack the offensive glass. And it's tough because, as we've discussed all game, Rob, it's not necessarily just the offensive rebound, it's what comes after it. It's either the immediate putback or the foul that gets drawn, like just did here for the Hawks.
So White, a transfer from Montana State, misses the first free throw. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. Second one good. She has 5, 42-35 Hawkeyes. Quickly down court. Gabby Marshall on the left wing is held by Natalie Potts.
Natalie Potts actually played for the same AAU program that Kate Martin played for growing up, so a couple of strong alums for the advertising for that group.
Yeah, these teams know each other pretty well. Clark off a screen, buries a three from the left wing.
Man, nobody better moving to their left side. Clark needed no space, no time. She's just so comfortable when she's got her feet underneath her. Didn't even need a dribble that time.
And the Hawks 3 out of 3 from the field. Last 3 trips, now lead by 10.
You know, Rob, this is kind of how the first quarter started. You know, Iowa had a 10-point lead, had a chance to kind of put them away. So look to do that here.
Here's Jazz Shelley at the free throw line. Spins, drives down the right side. No, but the ball tipped right back to her. Second opportunity for Nebraska. And Potts tried to kick it out to Shelley on the right side, intercepted by Kate Martin. Now Gabby Marshall on the right wing. Here's Molly Davis in between the circles. Had 2 points in the first half. Gets it to Clark for 3. Swishes this one from left to the top of the key. Timeout, Nebraska.
It's got to be pretty fun to be one Caitlin Clark, Rob. Just know, first half doesn't really go your way. You're 2 for 7 from 3. Next thing you know, she gets out to this jump gets up to
18 points, yeah.
I mean, goes from 10 to 18 in the blink of an eye. And, for Nebraska's, from their viewpoint, 3 turnovers in as many minutes. It's exactly what's going to happen. It's dangerous against this Iowa offense.
And Amy Williams and her staff called timeout to talk this over as the Hawkeyes on a 6-0 run the last 51 seconds. 6:53 left to go in the third quarter. Good start for the Hawkeyes. We'll be back. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student-athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student-athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships. Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Hawkeyes start the third quarter strong, have outscored Nebraska 12-4, and that prompted a Nebraska timeout. Iowa 48, Nebraska 35. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Iowa Hawkeye basketball. University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. Proud to be the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye women's basketball this season, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Learn more at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. Nebraska with Coley into the game. Gets a pass to Hake. Now inside Markowski, goes to work in the paint, and Andy O'Grady tipped the ball away and is going to be called for the foul.
Love to see the reaction from the Iowa bench to that one. It's just a ticky-tack foul, as they would say, and sometimes you got to wonder why those things get called. But it's the spirit of the rule there, Rob. Seeing Stolke now subbing in for O'Grady after that quick foul from O'Grady.
And Hannah Stolke will have the inside position of the lane on the left side. Markowski knocks down the first free throw attempt. That's her first point of the third quarter. She has 9. Second one in the air, a little bit strong off the back of the bracket, but there's an offensive rebound by Nebraska. And immediately Jazz Shelley is tied up. Possession arrow favors the Hawkeyes.
Just to give you an idea of the caliber of center that Markowski has grown into at Nebraska. She was on the Lisa Leslie preseason watch list, a list that Iowa fans are very familiar with over the last few years. Monica Sonano and Megan Gustafson before her both being on that watch list, and a supreme honor for that position.
Yep, well known around the league for sure. When you look at scouting reports, that's usually the first name you talk about when you talk about Nebraska. Marshall, 3 deep in the corner, no good. After the Hawkeyes did a good job moving the ball from side to side.
Yeah, you're not going to get a better look.
48-36, 4 minutes into the third quarter. Hawkeyes on top, Nebraska with the basketball. Here's Shelley, top of the key, hesitates, pulls up her dribble, now gets it left wing. This is Krall, not a big score, and she's just out dribbling around. Finally finds Coley on the left wing. Now back to Krall with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Pulls up from 16 straight away, an air ball, and is saved from going out of bounds by Clark to Martin. And then she is knocked over by Callan Hake.
That was about as good of a defensive possession as we've seen from Iowa all day. Just keeping them on their toes, aggressive on the ball, making the Nebraska players uncomfortable, and really it would have been a shot clock violation had Iowa not saved it at the end. So really strong defensive possession from Iowa. You see Gabby Marshall subbing out of the game, but she has been working all day long. Jazz Shelley is not an easy guard, and she's on her toes constantly. She's got that, kind of that international style of play from Jazz Shelley, and that's what Gabby's been facing all day long. She's done a great job on her, keeping her occupied.
Yeah, Shelley with just 2 threes. Hawkeye basketball on top by 12. Here's Martin, top of the key. Lob pass into Stolke, and she crashes into Hake, and a foul. And this will go against Callan Hake, her 3rd for a block.
Callan Hake's a gritty player. It's the second time that she's looked to try to draw a charge. Both times when called for a block, she's been on the wrong end of it, but she's a gritty player, and you appreciate those type of hustle plays.
Clark gets it into Hannah Stolke, back to Clark, bounce pass toward Kate Martin, as she slashes toward the rim and looked like she was pushed from behind. Another Nebraska foul.
Wow, and what a pass. I know that one won't end up on SportsCenter because there was the foul called and she ended up falling, but my goodness, the vision from Caitlin Clark to see that back cut from Martin. And that's experience playing together, Rob. It's like they can communicate without even a glance, and the back cut from Kate Martin to get herself back to the free throw line, where again we talked about earlier, she's pretty much automatic. I'm going out on a limb and saying it before this last one goes up.
Second one, just short.
I shouldn't have done it.
Well, we'll blame that one on you.
Yep, I'll take the blame. That's on me, Kate.
Moriarty picked up her second foul, and then driving baseline. Feuerbach picks up the foul, and it will be Nebraska basketball. 49-36 with 5:17 left to go in the third. Shelley gets it into Markowski. Back to Shelley. Three-pointer deep in the corner, no good. Ball is loose, dug up by Coley. She was the first one to get it on the right wing. Now gets it back to Shelley. Lob pass into Markowski. She's doubled and took an extra step as that double collapsed on her.
Yeah, Sydney Affolter made that happen. I say that because Sydney Affolter was the player coming with the double team. And for post players like Markowski, even highly skilled ones, when they know that's in the back of their head, where's the double coming from? Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. It gets in their head. It makes it difficult to react on the pass and led to that travel.
49-36, Hawkeyes with the lead in the basketball. Feuerbach hands it off to Affolter, who had a great first half. Now to Clark on the right wing. Keeps that dribble going, goes behind her back, and a little too much. Tried to get a little too fancy that time and kind of lost her balance and called for traveling.
Yeah, I think sometimes Clark sees a step ahead of the game, and then sometimes her mind reacts before her feet do. And yeah, it's going to happen as much as she has the ball in her hands. Nothing to get too frustrated about.
Timeout on the court. The Hawkeyes have made 4 of their last 5. Nebraska's missed their last 4 and don't have a field goal in the last 4 minutes and 25 seconds. We've got 4:41 left to go in the third. Iowa 49, Nebraska 36. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
Welcome back courtside, Carver Hawkeye Arena. Rob Brooks, Catherine Reynolds, as the Hawkeyes have outscored Nebraska 13-5 here in the third quarter, 49-36. Appreciate everybody tuning in on our YouTube channel, the Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube channel, the Varsity app, satellite radio, XM Sirius today, and of course our great Hawkeye radio network stations today, KXIC in Iowa City, WHO Des Moines.
Grateful for that YouTube channel. It's got people in Cincinnati.
No doubt about it.
Couple of Reynolds family members listening, I think, in Cincinnati. So grateful for all those outlets.
Appreciate everybody tuning into that. Have had great success with it this year as Nebraska has an empty possession. Hawkeyes quickly down court. Clark to Martin. Layup. Good. Boy, we've heard that a few times today.
Yeah, the Clark-Martin connection. How about it? You love to see it, and I think that's what makes this Iowa team so dangerous is how quickly, when you miss, you really have to focus on getting back on defense because Iowa is pushing the ball as hard as possible, and Martin just runs the floor so well.
51-36, under 4, third quarter. Hake for Nebraska. Out near the logo. Angles right side, tried to drop her shoulder there and lost control of the ball, and then Clark knocked it away. It'll stay with Nebraska along the sideline.
You know, Rob, I feel like, and correct me if you disagree, but I think you've seen a little bit more of defensive aggression from Clark this year in her senior season. I think she's kind of learned when she can go for steals, when she can get a little bit more involved on the defensive end, and I think that's a pretty fun element of her game to see. I think she's always actually been a pretty good defender, maybe just applying herself at different points, always was a good help side defender, but now you're seeing her on-ball defense evolve, where she's a little more aggressive, and it's fun to watch.
And she's long. I mean, she's 6 foot and long and has been able to tip balls continually this year. Lob pass into Markowski. Nice job. Entry pass from the right side. Got it over the fronting Hannah Stolke.
Yeah, with that front, it means somebody was missing on the backside. When you see your center for Iowa in the front, it definitely means the backside help needs to be there. Just weren't there that time.
51-36. Hawkeyes with the lead in the basketball. Davis gets it to Clark, coming off a screen. Buries the three-pointer. Left wing right in front of the Hawkeye bench.
Again, moving to her left side. There's nobody better in women's basketball.
And now Caitlin getting the crowd into it. Here's Shelley, step back 17-footer, buries it straight away. Shelley, that's her first field goal since the second. Feuerbach quickly down, gives it back to Clark. Same spot, swish.
I don't think she's hit the rim this half, Rob, has she? Correct me. I don't think so. Clark feeling it.
Been all nylon so far in the third quarter. Hawks go up by 17. And on the left wing, we have a foul. That'll go against Hannah Stolke. That's 3 on her. And she'll come out in favor of Kate Martin. White comes back for Nebraska, as does Annika Stewart.
The horn operator is pretty active over there with all these substitutions, but the thing that Nebraska has that not a lot of other teams in the Big Ten can offer is they pretty much have 3 centers who can shoot the 3-ball, and so that creates some defensive mismatches for other teams in the conference, where now you're looking at Sharon Goodman, who will likely be on Annika Stewart at the center position, and really Stewart wants to spend her time out on the perimeter, and so there's some difficult matchups that Nebraska presents, whether that's the starter Markowski or Stewart and Petrie off the bench.
1 out of 2 for Nisley at the free throw line. 57-41 Hawkeyes. 2:35 left to go in the third. Clark brings it across the timeline in between the circles. Angles right side, now comes back left, and a three-pointer is an air ball from the tip of the beak on the logo. And that just a little heat check right there. That was in traffic, a fadeaway.
Yeah, well said. Definitely a heat check. You know, you're going to give those to her.
Absolutely.
Clark's more than earned the right to get those heat checks. You see, Taylor McCabe has checked into the game for Iowa. Nebraska native. It's always exciting for her to get minutes in this matchup.
Nebraska Player of the Year, Shelley from 20, no good. Sharon Goodman into the game also, gets the rebound. Head to McCabe, now to Davis on the left wing. Fakes a pass inside, gets it back out to McCabe. Swish, left to the top of the key. A 3 for Taylor McCabe.
Stone cold. Didn't even get a smile after the 3, but so happy to see Taylor McCabe get in the game and get that 3-point look. She's another one who's pretty much automatic.
Here's Shelley, gets into the paint, runner no. Rebound Clark, she spins and gets it across the timeline. Contact by Shelley, and then Shelley takes the ball away from her. Gets it left wing to Nisley. Now right side, Shelley buries the 3 right in front of the Nebraska bench.
That was a good answer from Nebraska. You sort of felt like the lid was about to blow off here in Carver Hawkeye after that turnover from Clark.
Clark all the way to the glass. Shot is up and no good. But a foul will be called on White of Nebraska. Free throws for Caitlin Clark.
Jazz Shelley is a better defender than I think she gets credit for. And forcing that last turnover on Caitlin, what she does is she just tries to beat her to a spot. And then sometimes that works for Clark, as well as Caitlin can counter with her ball handling, behind the back, between the legs, crossovers, that type of thing. Sometimes with Shelley's speed, when she beats her to that spot, makes it difficult to counter and led to the turnover.
No good on the first for Clark. You can join the Iowa Lottery VIP Club and enter to win tickets to see sold-out Hawkeye women's basketball with the Countdown to Carver promotion. Play Hawkeye Gold scratch tickets today. Second free throw good. Clark up to 25, and that's now 5 straight games for Clark with 6 or more threes, the longest streak in the country. She's 6 out of 12. Driving along the baseline, the point guard White for Nebraska, and she is shoved from behind and will earn 2 from the free throw line.
Yeah, I saw White pretty much just put her head down and go straight at Taylor McCabe. She just got into the game. Sometimes coaches recognize those matchups where a player's been sitting for a little while and they want to expose those matchups.
White no good on the first one.
Kind of in that 2-for-1 situation here, Rob, where it's a lot of times point becomes moot with the offensive rebound from the free throw line for Nebraska.
Off the miss, the left side of the iron, then White got her own rebound on the left wing and penetrates and drives baseline and is shoved. Davis picks up her first, and Arian White right back to the free throw line. Today's game brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. White's first makes the first of 2, and it's 61-45, 1:11 left to go, third quarter.
Well, a chance to kind of complete that thought. It's a 2-for-1 situation right about this 1:11 mark where Iowa will look to get a shot, have a defensive possession, and then have the possession for the end of the quarter.
Molly Davis across the timeline. Gets it to Martin. Being defended by Potts. Now right side McCabe. Three-pointer no good. Contact. And the rebound taken down by Jazz Shelley. Brings it into the front court. Fires a pass right side to White. She fakes the three, gets into the paint, lost control of it, and then digs it up and gets it to the left wing for Nisley, who knocks down a three-pointer.
Yeah, and that's why freshman Logan Nisley's in the game. Almost 80% of her field goal attempts are from behind the three-point line. She's got a really quick release, and a shooter I think the Big Ten will be seeing for years.
And shoots at just about 40% as Kate Martin gets free for another 2.
Really good game today from Kate Martin. It's nice to see her kind of have a little bit of a bounce back after a game at Ohio State last weekend where it was just due to foul trouble a little bit difficult for her to get into the flow of play.
Only had 8 at Ohio State, has 13, and Sharon Goodman picks up the assist. 63-49 with 7 seconds left to go. Here's Shelley in between the circles. Wanted a 3, couldn't get it, and then a three-pointer is missed on the left wing by Potts to end quarter number 3. Hawks 63, Nebraska 49, a quarter dominated by the Hawkeyes after leading by 5 at intermission. We'll head to the fourth. Hawks 63, Huskers 49. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Hey Hawkeyes, while you're hard at work in class or on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat. Nice. Which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost. So see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Hawkeyes own the third quarter, outscoring Nebraska 27-18. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, and voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year, proudly supports Hawkeye women's basketball. You can trust Dodge Street Tire for honest auto repair and the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets. 15 for Kate, 25 for Caitlin.
Kind of like we thought at the end of that first half. Those floodgates open for Clark. The points go up on the board in a hurry.
Only two players in double figures for the Hawkeyes. Nebraska with the basketball. Hawks on top by 15. First minute to the fourth quarter, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Nebraska's Markowski.
Yeah, it's the third offensive foul Nebraska's had today, which I think is a little bit frustrating for that Nebraska staff. But you can't blow through screens the way that Markowski does.
And the officials called that early. Here's Clark on the right side. Gets a screen 15 feet away. Drops it into Stalky. Gets it to Davis along the baseline. Floater, no. Rebound taken down by Petrie of Nebraska. Here's Jazz Shelley, top of the key, and she'll fire a three-pointer and drill it.
It's kind of the Jazz Shelley that we're used to seeing. She's got a quick release, always looking for her shot, and she's actually struggled a little bit over the course of this season in the Big Ten, but she's kind of coming back into her own here as she gets a little bit more comfortable in conference play.
She has 14, averages 12. Clark, three-point answer, top of the key three.
You know, Rob, I'll be honest, sometimes when I see those shots going up from Clark, my first look is at the opposing coaching staff. And earlier in her career, you would see coaches get really frustrated at their teams when Clark would get, a little bit loose or be shooting these threes and people. But now when I look over at opposing coaches, it's almost just this look of like, hey, you know what? You did your best. You had your hand in her face. They almost have accepted that Clark is going to make these really, really highly difficult shots, and they just want to contest them the best they can.
Markowski gets it in deep and is fouled by Stalky and is at the free throw line. Knocks down the first. She has 12. And Sharon Goodman has come in to relieve Hannah Stalky. 66-54 as the second one goes through.
Seeing the center position played by committee for these Iowa Hawkeyes. Sometimes it's Stolke, sometimes it's Goodman, sometimes it's O'Grady. Still kind of working through that rotation and seeing what works best.
Here's Davis in between the circles for the Hawkeyes. Left-handed bounce pass down on the left block to Martin. Now back to Molly. And Davis now calls out a play and then backs it up toward the timeline with 6 to shoot. Errant pass to Clark. Now Caitlin's going to have to try to get something up from 35. Count it! A three at the buzzer at the shot clock for Clark with 31.
She's unbelievable. I think you just saw 15,000 people in here all just shake their heads simultaneously. How does she do it?
You just had a feeling that was going in, and here's another 35-footer right side no.
But again,
had to shoot that one, though.
The heat check she's earned a right to.
69-54, 8 to go. Nisley tried to turn the corner, go down the left side, and is bumped by Caitlin Clark.
But again, that's Caitlin being a little bit more aggressive on the ball, and something we talked about a little earlier in the half. I like to see it. You get 5 fouls. Obviously, you don't want her to be flirting with foul trouble in the first half of games, but, in an intense game against a rival, a little bit of pressure on the ball. I like to see it.
8 threes from Clark today.
After being 2 for 7 at the half.
Yep, it's usually just wait, right?
It's like they teach you in law school. They say read on. With Clark, it's watch on, be patient, because it's coming. It's just a matter of when.
Shelley takes the ball from the right wing along the baseline and not cut off and lays it up and in for Nebraska. Shelley has 16, and it's 68-56, 7:30 left to go in the ballgame. Here's Martin, drives down the right side of the paint, missed the layup. Goodman goes after the rebound, tips it to Kate on the left side, and the Hawkeyes get it back to Clark in between the circles. She drives down the right side, flips it across the lane to Sharon Goodman, layup good.
Really good to see Goodman in that sort of ball screen action with the pick and roll. And, after that knee injury, it's taken Goodman a little bit of time to get her legs back under her, but that was beautiful and great kind of ballet-like toes to stay on her feet and finish with the left hand.
Shelley couldn't connect on the three-pointer. Hawkeyes in transition. Tried to get the ball to Marshall. Tipped away, but gathered by Martin. Now Clark on the right side. Bumps into Chaz Shelley, and then now goes into the paint. Lost control of the ball. Still somehow flipped it up and in off the window.
And a steal from Marshall. So good at that, staying in the backcourt.
And then Clark knocks down Shelley away from the ball. And that's going to go against Caitlin Clark.
Frustration foul for Clark. In her defense, she gets hit all game long by every single person on the floor. She's always got hands slapping across her wrists, getting bodied, those types of things. And so, occasionally you're going to see the fire. And that's part of what makes her such a good player, Rob. Give her the fire. You don't want to put the light out.
Petrie. In between the circles, three-pointer is long. Clark gets the rebound, races down court, hands it off to Martin, drives the baseline right side, short on the layup.
Back-to-back missed layups on the right side for Martin.
After making terrific moves as Nisley misfires from three, right at the top of the key, but weak side rebound taken by Hake. Another opportunity for Nebraska. Now backing in deep is Petrie, goes up and finishes in the paint.
With the height disadvantage there, Martin did pretty much all she could on the defense. She stayed straight up. She absorbed the contact. It was a good finish by Petrie.
73-58, Hawkeyes with the lead in the basketball. Petrie's first hoop. Here's Davis, free throw line extended right. Gets it to Clark in between the circles. Gets a screen from Martin. Drives baseline. Scoop shot is up and no good. Missed it with the right hand on the left side. Rebound taken down by Petrie. And good fast break opportunity for Nebraska. Finally lands in the hands of Markowski, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, with the pace of play, Iowa looks a little bit out of breath right here. It looks like Coach Bler might have them cross half court and call a timeout to get their wind.
Here's Clark. Gets into the paint, kicks it right side. Martin, that's an air ball from three. I think you're right. That's been part of why Iowa's missed three layups. Down court pass taken by Petrie, goes up in the paint and is fouled.
Yeah, and I think this media timeout probably can't come at a better time. You're seeing some big, deep breaths from the Iowa players, and that's all right. I mean, they're playing hard. Sometimes you just have to manage the clock in that way, and I think on that last play, Bler did intend to call the timeout. Clark had other ideas. When she's pushing the ball like that, let her go, see what happens. Usually good things come.
Much needed timeout with exactly 5 minutes left to go. Iowa 73, Nebraska 60. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You're listening to coverage of Hawkeye women's basketball, powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right.
5 minutes left to go. The Hawks by 13. And one thing, when you look at Nebraska, this team looked like a couple of times it could really get out of hand, but they have fought back. They'll play you for the full 40.
Yeah, Nebraska offensive rebounds so well, and they shoot the three really well. So I think between those two things, you never really feel like they're out of games when you know that they have the ability to do both of those things really quickly and really effectively.
Working together is how you win. That's why Mid-American Energy's roster of wind, solar, and other energy sources works together to keep your service safe and reliable 24/7. Learn more at midamericanenergy.com. 5 minutes left to go. Hawkeyes looking to start another win streak after a tough loss at Ohio State in front of over 18,000 in Columbus last Sunday. Clark, one three-pointer made away from tying her career high of 9, which occurred at Maryland back on February 23rd of 21, and also Cleveland State last December. Clark with 8 boards and 6 assists. Nebraska at the free throw line. First one is good by Petrie. She had 7 last time out against Penn State. Has 3 in this contest, 73-61. Hawks with the lead. Second one, rimming no. Feuerbach the rebound. Iowa has led for over 30 minutes of this game. Clark walks it across the timeline.
That's where you want to see them stay aggressive. Keep the foot on the gas pedal and don't let this 12-point lead turn into an 8-point lead.
Sydney, a falter off a screen, drives down the right side of the lane, connects on the layup, and is fouled.
Just like that, Sydney Fulcher getting ahead of steam going downhill. There's not many people who can stop her when she gets that. For her 9th points of the game, headed to the free throw line. Really good game from a Fulcher today, Rob.
Terrific in the first 2 quarters, especially had 7 points, and really got the Hawkeyes rolling at both ends. Showed some toughness, as she always does. Rolls in the free throw. She has 10. Petrie picked up her second personal, and it's 76-61. 4:35 left to go. Here's a three-pointer. Jazz Shelley left wing. Good. That's 19 now for Shelley. Averages 12, coming off at 12 and 6 steals against Penn State. Feuerbach tries to answer from the left wing. No good. And a whistle on the rebound. Foul will be called right at the top of the key.
Yeah, Jazz Shelley today having the type of game that is, the reason she's been a multiple-time All-Big Ten selection, preseason All-Big Ten pick. Really capable and experienced guard for the Huskers.
So a foul on the loose ball on a falter puts Hake at the free throw line. First one good. Callan Hake with 8. If you or someone you know needs support now, you can call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. Second one no good. Iowa with the rebound. Clark jogs it across the timeline, dribbles between her legs, kicks it to Stalkey on the right wing. Now Feuerbach in between the circles. Marshall, right side, hands it off to Sydney Falter at the top of the key. Angles left side, now Marshall on the left wing. Gets it to Stalkey for 3, left wing, good for Hannah. Stalkey has 7.
How about that? Seeing Hannah Stokey shoot that 3 with confidence. You know what? My favorite part of that, Rob, is she waved off Clark for the end of the shot clock shot and took the 3 herself.
That's her 4th made 3 of the year, and then creates a steal down on the block and quickly gets it to Caitlin. 79-65 Iowa. Clark on the right wing. Free throw line extended. Stalkey top of the key to Feuerbach, left side. Now a falter right in front of the Iowa bench. Back to Clark. Step back 3, left wing. Ribbing no. And a foul will be called on Jazz Shelley. 3 free throws for Clark.
You feel like that was kind of a big segment there for Iowa. It was getting a little tight with the multiple trips to the free throw line for the Huskers. So for Stolke to knock that down, then go down there and force a turnover, maintain this 14-point lead, and then, with Clark getting herself back to the free throw line, you feel a little bit more comfortable here with Iowa in the driver's seat.
Clark's first, got it. Caitlin with 34.
You're looking at that box score at halftime, and Clark's sitting there with 10 points. Now we fast forward here with only a little over 3 minutes remaining in the game, and you can't say enough about her, but it's really remarkable what we're watching here with Caitlin Clark in front of our eyes.
All three good. 36 for Clark, 82-65. Hawks with the lead, Nebraska with the basketball. Hake on the right side, gives it off in the corner to Nisley. Good three-point shooter, and she knocks it down on the right side of the court.
Wow, and for Nisley, it's the confidence and the speed with which she gets that shot off. It's almost, for the Hawkeye fans listening, it's almost Melissa Dixon reminiscent how quickly she's getting that shot off.
Hannah Falter along the baseline gets a pass from Clark, goes up in traffic, and a blocking foul will be called on Nebraska. Nisley was North Dakota's high school player of the year for 3 years in a row.
It's sort of an interesting thing with just the geography and being both in the Big Ten. There's a lot of players that Nebraska and Iowa both recruit. And so from that perspective, there's a lot of familiarity even from when these athletes are in high school. The Iowa coaching staff's really familiar with Logan Nisley. They watched her play for years in high school. And, sometimes people end up at other institutions. So it's always interesting because you feel like you've seen these players forever. And really it's because you've been watching them since they were 13 or 14 years old from a coaching perspective.
Falter knocks down both free throws, 84-68. We're under three, racing to the basket. Jazz Shelley missed the left-handed layup. Clark gets the rebound, brings it into the front court, drops it off, baseline shot by Martin in traffic, no good. But she is fouled and will shoot a pair. Markowski, her third.
And you saw Jazz Shelley go down on that play, which you hate to see. I can't tell quite if it was her ankle or a cramp. You hate to see that any time.
And she's going to need some help off the court. And hopefully she's okay. He's had a terrific game. Has 19 points. So Kate Martin will be at the free throw line. 84-68. Hawkeyes on top.
Yeah, Rob, you hate to see that, especially for anybody, but a player just playing hard, trying to make a play on the ball. And I think she tweaked that ankle, gets helped off by the athletic trainer and a teammate, and hope for the best for Shelley.
That gets Moriarty back into the game. Martin at the free throw line. Perfect. Did miss one today, though.
Yeah, well, that one was my fault.
That'll happen.
So I hope that one gets kept off the box. Reynolds' fault there.
And missed the second one. 4 out of 6 from the line from Kate Martin, but has 16 points. 85-68. 2:25 left to go in the ballgame. Hawks looking for victory number 19-8 in the Big Ten. Markowski, paint, spin move, no. And the rebound taken down by Clark. One-handed pass to Martin. Now a Fulter left side. No good on the three-pointer. And then Nebraska fumbled the ball out of bounds, but said touched last by Hannah Stolke.
That was great ball movement in transition from Iowa. A couple of passes led to a wide open look, and you can't. That's all you can ask for, really, is getting the ball movement. Most people touching it's difficult to defend. It's a good look.
Clark does have 10 rebounds and 6 assists. And here's a steal by Clark, all alone, lays it up and in.
Defense leading to offense.
Talk about that defense by the Hawkeyes. The intensity ramped up. Clark gets her right hand on another one and creates a turnover. Hawkeye basketball.
Yeah, you can kind of see where when Caitlin's energy levels rise, she gets the offense going, leads to some additional offensive intensity, and you're happy to see that for her. Also think you saw a little bit of a concerted effort on the glass from Iowa here in this fourth quarter in particular, giving up too many offensive rebounds there for the little while to the Huskers, and that they shored that up, and then that's where you saw this lead really separate. Up 19 right now, but if you watch this game, it wasn't the type of game that felt like a 19-point runaway lead for the Hawkeyes. It's been highly competitive with a Husker team that has showed a lot of fight.
Well, 5-point game at the half as the Iowa starters, except for Molly Davis, looks like their afternoon is over. A.J. Ediger, Fulter, McCabe, and Feuerbach into the game as Kylie has the ball along the baseline. And then 3 seconds will be called against A.J. Ediger, and it'll be Nebraska basketball. 87-68 with 1:24 left to go. So Clark will sit down with 38. Does have a double-double with 10 boards, and a running layup by Hake is up and good. That gets her into double figures with 10. McCabe picks up her second.
It's be an interesting matchup. A little when the Hawkeyes head to Lincoln a little later in the season. Nebraska's a team that always gets up to play Iowa. They view it as a strong rivalry, and Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, they'll sell that place out. Go Big Red Nation comes out loud and proud and loves to cheer against Iowa. So I think will be an exciting matchup when that one comes.
We have seen that one before, no doubt about it. 87-71, approaching 1 minute left to go. Here's McCabe on the left wing. Fakes, goes up, three-pointer, got it! Taylor McCabe, her second three.
The Nebraska native letting it fly. I'd love to see it come off the bench. Doesn't matter if she's been sitting for a little while. Let that thing fly.
And the Hawks only scored 14 points in the first quarter, now have 90. On the move in the paint is Moriarty. Contact and a foul on the Hawkeyes.
There's some Hawkeye fans remembering Kathleen Doyle, Big Ten Player of the Year point guard out of Bennett Academy in near the Chicagoland area. That's where Kendall Moriarty, who's headed to the free throw line, also played at that same high school. A strong program there at Bennett.
Free throw good. She has 3. Incidentally, that game at Nebraska on February 11th. Second one also good. 90-73, 40 seconds left to go. Across the timeline is Molly Davis. Now a falter. Works it to Feuerbach. Free throw line extended left. Holds the ball, one dribble, bounce pass inside. Ediger goes up strong in the middle of the paint and will shoot a pair.
It's fun to see these Iowa centers all come out and compete. Like you mentioned earlier, Stolke getting the starting nod, but then, we've got multiple options at the center position. You see Ediger here for these late minutes and really productive herself. She got some minutes early in the game in Columbus last weekend. And it's got to be encouraging for Coach Jan Jensen, who coaches those centers, to know she's got pretty much 4 viable options at that position.
AJ makes the first, second one, perfect. 5 players have scored off the Iowa bench, 92-73. 20 seconds left to go. Right side, long-range jumper by Hake, no good. Rebound, Ediger. And the Hawks will finish this one out as Molly Davis crosses the timeline. Fans to their feet. And victory number 19 in the books for the Hawkeyes. 92-73 over Nebraska. Clark with 38 and Kate Martin with 16. Hawkeyes now stand at 19-2, 8-1 in conference play. The Huskers fall to 13-7 and 5-4. Don't forget that you can earn $250 when you open an eligible checking account at the Tiffin branch or online. Get rewarded for banking with FSB. Visit myfsbonline.com for complete details. Subject to approval, minimum $50 deposit, requires e-statements and direct deposit, member FDIC. Final score, once again, Iowa 92, Nebraska 73, after Iowa led by 5 at the half. We'll be back with the postgame show from Carver Hawkeye Arena. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard? With 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources. Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, our partner in a collaborative, ENGIE North America, is now offering part-time, on-campus positions where you can get hands-on, career-inspiring experience in sustainable utility systems management. Check out the jobs and apply now at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show, delivering solutions for every life, every day. Hawkeye basketball is brought to you by U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Also by United Healthcare, proud sponsors of Small Business Spotlight. Sign up your small business at HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. Once again, here's Rob Brooks.
Third quarter was a big one for the Hawkeyes today as Iowa outscored Nebraska 27-18. Win it 92-73. Congratulations to our United Healthcare Small Business Spotlight winner this week, Base Point Wealth. Proudly headquartered right in Cedar Rapids, Base Point Wealth. Fee-only advisors provide independent and transparent wealth management advice to clients throughout the state of Iowa. For more information and important disclosures, you can visit Baseline or make that basepointwealth.com. Basepointwealth.com, our United Healthcare Spotlight on small business. Catherine, how about the stats as you got the key thing in talking about Clark? You mentioned it toward the end of the game. 10 at the half. Just wait. End up with 38 points, 8 of 15 from 3, 1 off of her career high. Knocked down 6 of 7 from the free throw line, and another double-double, 38 and 10 boards.
Yeah, I mean, it's something with Caitlin Clark that I think she's grown over her time here in an Iowa uniform is in the past where when she maybe would have had a first half like that where things weren't necessarily falling, she's 2 for 7, she's not getting calls at the rim, sometimes it would have impacted her second half and you wouldn't have seen a stat sheet at the end of the game with 38 points on 12 for 22 shooting, 10 rebounds, but that's not the case anymore, and I think that's, maybe beyond what just the numbers say. What speaks to me most about that from Caitlin and I really respect about her is that evolution of her game to be able to bounce back in a second half after a first half where things maybe don't go her way.
And then another good ball game from Kate Martin in double figures.
Yeah, another really good game from Kate Martin, which I was, excited for her to get to today. We had talked to her before the game, and she's one of those players where, yes, the bye week is kind to her body, which she would call her old body at this point as her 6th-year senior. Obviously, says that slightly in jest, but
I would hope so.
Yeah, God, no kidding. You're telling me, Rob. We had Alumni Day recently, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's been...
Don't even get started.
Yeah, I won't. Clearly, I'm still a little rubbed the wrong way on that one, but you look at Kate Martin's line, and what I was trying to say is, but she's the type of player where the bye week, while yes, she's happy to get some rest and recovery, she can't wait to get back out there and compete, and especially after that Ohio State game where things didn't really go the way she wanted them to. First and foremost, from a team outcome, which is what she cares about most, is winning the ball game. But she also just didn't compete the way she wanted to. Was in foul trouble, had a hard time getting in the flow of the game. So to see her bounce back today, be 6 for 11 from the field, get to the free throw line multiple times, have 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a really, really balanced line. And that's all just on 2 turnovers in over 31 minutes of play. So great to see that from Kate Martin. And the other one that jumps off the stat sheet for you is Sydney Fulter. Played nearly 20 minutes, 4 for 6 shooting, 12 total points, 4 rebounds. 2 of those are offensive. She makes all 3 free throws attempts that she takes, and has an assist to go along with it. And so I think, as the Iowa coaching staff looks at this box score, to see that type of production off the bench is something that'll be really exciting for them. Not to mention 25 total bench points for the Iowa Hawkeyes today.
How about some of the other numbers?
Yeah, you look at Hannah Stolke's line, obviously one that you want to pay close attention to. 7 total points on 2 of 4 shooting, 4 total rebounds, only 2 turnovers, and 3 steals for Stolke today, which, is good to see against a center with the caliber of Markowski. Molly Davis, 2 points today, but 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 of those offensive in 27 minutes of play. We already talked about Kate and Caitlin. Gabby Marshall, she's a player where things might not necessarily show up in the box score, but what she does all day long on defense to be disruptive. She had 4 points, 2 steals, gets fouled a couple of times, doesn't get to the free throw line, but you see some evolution in Gabby Marshall's game where she's throwing up shot fakes, getting those mid-range jumpers, and I think both of her buckets today came off of that. Addison O'Grady played some quality minutes, as did Taylor McCabe and Sharon Goodman. McCabe hitting 2 threes in her 5 minutes. Pretty efficient right there, Rob. 6 total points for McCabe. Great to see that against her hometown Nebraska Cornhuskers.
No doubt about that. She'll certainly remember that, and she's a good shooter, and will certainly progress as her career moves forward. But good to get that confidence. You never know when you're going to be called upon for extended minutes, and Taylor McCabe 2 out of 3 from 3. The other thing, too, you look at that third quarter, 10 of 14 for the Hawkeyes from the floor, 71.4%, 5 of 9 from 3, and that's when Caitlin got the step back 3 in action.
Yeah, just the way the first half ended, Caitlin getting that kind of buzzer beater shot, you kind of felt like maybe that was coming, and she comes out of the gates hot. And that actually, to add to that, Nebraska came out and had 3 turnovers in the first 3 minutes of the second half, and those are the kind of things that get you going as the Iowa team. You felt like maybe the first half wasn't your best performance, but you forced some turnovers. Caitlin gets her 3-ball going, and really Iowa's transition offense was really impressive to start the half, too. It's deflating for an opposing team, especially to start a half when someone's coming at you like that, keeping you on your heels. So, yeah, like you said, the third quarter, but not to mention that's the fourth quarter, too. 29 points to Nebraska's 24. Iowa combined for 56 second half points. That's a lot of points to score in a half, and something that Nebraska's defense won't be too thrilled about.
And 20 assists for the Hawkeyes to 11 turnovers, and 3 players in double figures for Nebraska as Jazz Shelley, and hopefully she's okay after limping off late in the fourth quarter. She ended up with 19 to lead the way for the Huskers, 17 from the center. Alexis Markowski also had 11 rebounds, so she enters that double-double club this afternoon. And Callan Hake played almost 25 minutes off the bench for the Cornhuskers, had 11 and 4 rebounds. 5 for Natalie Potts, 7 for Darian White, the starting point guard for Nebraska. Maddie Kroll did not score. 2 from Kendall Coley and 7 from Logan Nisley. And Kendall Moriarty had 4, and Jessica Petrie ended up with 1 point. Hawkeyes got 36 points in the paint, as Catherine alluded to, 25 off the bench for both teams. Hawks led by 19 late in the third quarter with 2 minutes to go. And Nebraska's big lead of only 4 points in the second at 1:55. Hawkeyes led for 34-58. Nebraska 309. 5-point game at the half. Hawkeyes win at 92-73. Now 19-2 and 8-1. Huskers fall to 13-7, 5-4. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. We are at the top of the hour. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield. Oaknall's mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving Iowa City for 57 years. Oaknall is conveniently located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, and downtown Iowa City. A proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oaknall.com to learn more. 92-73, back with more from Carver Hawkeye Arena on the postgame show. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here. Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Welcome back to the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show. Biodiesel, moving Iowa forward.
Welcome back courtside, Carver Hawkeye Arena. Hawkeyes a huge third quarter, outscoring Nebraska 27-18, 92-73 the final. Assistant coach Rena Harmon joins me courtside, and coach really came out, well, some momentum going into the half with a big Caitlin Clark three, and still only had a 36-31 advantage. And then that third quarter, an inspired Hawkeye team to start.
Yeah, very much inspired coming out of halftime. But I thought we got out offensively and defensively to a slow start. I mean, you look at the score initially. I mean, they call a timeout right off the bat, but I thought they had great looks. They just missed some good shots. And so then once their shots start falling, you know, we had ourselves a ball game. And I just thought we weren't as spirited as we usually are. Didn't play with as much joy as we usually do. But I thought, like you said, you know, came out of that halftime and played more Iowa, you know, basketball offensively. I thought we needed to shore up some things defensively with rebounds, and that I think we gave up a few too many offensive rebounds. But other than that, we got our offense rolling there in the second half.
Yeah, 13 offensive boards for Nebraska, and they did win the rebounding category, but that was it. And I think you're right. talking about back to Hawkeye basketball, 20 assists to 11 turnovers, and a lot of that, as you mentioned, came in the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did a great job. When Caitlin didn't have that look, you had Sydney going back door, who I thought did a phenomenal job coming off the bench today, especially getting us going a little bit with some offensive rebound, putbacks, and getting to the free throw line. Kate Martin going back door, being able to finish hers. I thought Hannah got going just a little bit more in that second half. But once we share the ball, sharing is caring, as we say, and then obviously, Caitlin decides to go to the parking lot and let it fly. And, I mean, you look at her percentages from first half to second half, it's night and day. Yeah,
it just seems like, she had 10 points at the half, end with 38. But it seems like the three-pointers now, it's not 4 or 5 or 6, it's 7, 8 in that category, and still shooting a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, I mean, once she gets her feet set and she got her eyes locked on the rim, I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a hand up, it really doesn't matter. And then she gets to wiggle a little bit on those ball screens. She's tough tough to defend. You can't go under. You try to trap it. You might have somebody else go hit a ball screen three or, going back door. And so for her, I mean, it's what she practices, right? And I think that probably doesn't get overstated enough. We all see what she's able to do on the floor, but nobody really gets to see what I like to call the scary hours, which is the work behind the work, right? And so for her to come in and, to get some work in on her off days or maybe stay after practice, I mean, those are shots that she's working on every single day. And so when she makes them, I think there's only maybe 20 people that's not surprised, and that's the ones about sitting on the bench.
Yeah, not everybody wants those scary hours, do they?
No, they don't.
What makes you special, the separation there. You mentioned Sydney Falter, and rightfully so. Go back to that one play when you talk about offensive rebounding. Markowski grabbed the ball down on the left block, and she just ripped it right away. And I thought that was significant to not only get that taken away on the rebound, but the layup.
Yeah, we like to call Sid the big dog, right? And the big dog is her position group. And I am the leader of the big dogs for everybody out there.
All right. Well, I would hope so.
No, but I mean, Sid, she's just going to get after it, right? She's not always going to have a wide open three. She's not always going to be in a position to drive, but she can create points for herself that, she's going to go back door. She is going to get those second opportunities for our team. And if she's under the rim and she has a chance to go up and get an and one, she's going to do that. I thought she got some nice deflections, some good steals. And so she's going to do all that scrappy work that necessarily it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it makes a huge difference on the floor for us.
Yeah, what did you think about the perimeter defense too? It seemed like the balls were tapped and active hands again.
Yeah, I thought I thought maybe we let them get a few too many open threes, but I thought we did do a good job of getting some, deflections. Like we saw the one Caitlin right there at the end of the game got that run out, a couple wide open layups for us. But I thought we did a pretty good job just being active and following the scout. I thought they hit some pretty tough shots though.
Yeah, 12 steals for the Hawkeyes and 5 for Nebraska. And now back on the road against a Northwestern team, another sold-out game. So it's going to be another big week. I hope everybody got rested up a little bit last week.
Yeah, we did. I mean, a long week for us during a bye week, and our team is smart. Those that wanted to get in the gym and get extra shots, they did that, and those that needed rest, they took the rest that they needed. And, some did it at the beginning of the week and maybe not the end, and vice versa. But it's a fun time of season right now. End of January, everybody's fighting for seeding. We're obviously going to get everybody's best shot, whether we're at home, on the road, sellouts, to the end of time, probably for us. And so it's fun, but we're in the midst of Big Ten basketball right now, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Yeah, it does, Rita, because you look at it, okay, there's kind of a log jam right at the top of the conference. We know who the opponents are there in Ohio State and Indiana right now, and it is, you can kind of see the end, but we're kind of in that mix where it's late January heading to early February. Just really meaningful games here, and after you've gotten really 2/3 the way through the season, this is what it's all about, isn't it?
It is, and it's so much fun. I mean, this conference is loaded with talent. Teams are loaded with talent, and I mean, even the ones that are kind of in the log jam in the middle are looking to fight, right? You look at maybe an Ohio State-Illinois game the other day where Illinois leads most of that game, right? And Ohio State makes a push because they understand seeding is important as well. You look, we were down at some point during this game, and so again, it's a fun time of season, but everybody is just trying to start their way to be playing their best basketball on their way to March.
That's what it's all about. All right, well, enjoy this one tonight.
Thank you. Go Hawks.
Assistant Coach Raina Harmon here on the postgame show after the Hawkeyes 92-73 victory over Nebraska, the first of 2 meetings between these two teams. Caitlin Clark leads the way with 38 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Did have 5 turnovers. Kate Martin, the other player in double figures, had 16 to go along with 5 boards. Third quarter did Nebraska in. Iowa outscored the Huskers 27-21. 28-18. We'll be back with more postgame from Carver Hawkeye Arena. Iowa wins it 92-73. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
Do you want to play an integral part in helping the Hawks win championships? Now is your chance to make a difference. Join the Swarm today and partner with Iowa football and the Iowa men's and women's basketball programs to serve charities in eastern Iowa. Your tax-deductible Swarm donation will compensate our Iowa student athletes for working to further the missions of local charities such as the United Way, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more. Go to iowaswarm.com for more information and make Iowa athletics the place for our student athletes to experience the thrill of winning championships.
Escape to Italy and Sicily in September 2024 with Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited. Enjoy this melting pot of multicultural customs and cuisine and beautiful landscapes. After taking in Rome, we'll head down to the dramatic Sorrento coast and then journey from Italy's heel to its toe of Sicily. To learn more about this or any vacation, contact Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com. That's duagency.com.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with the official local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the hotel at Kirkwood Center, Iowa's premier luxury hotel, the Jill Armstrong team with Skogman Realty, the area's premier realtor, and Melrose Meadows, voted Iowa City's best retirement community. The hotel at Kirkwood Center, a AAA 4-diamond luxury property located just a few minutes from the eastern Iowa airport and downtown Cedar Rapids. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, the hotel is happy to welcome you. To make reservations, visit thehotelatKirkwood.com.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Every Hawkeye game is fun, but some seasons are just special, like sold out before it even starts special. But you can still be there to see it. Play the Hawkeye Gold Scratch ticket, and you can win a VIP game day experience to see Iowa women's basketball. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to witness greatness and some really, really deep threes. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
This is the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show, delivering solutions for every life, every day.
25 points off the Iowa bench. Leading the way in that category was Sydney Falter, and really gave the Hawkeyes a spark, especially in the first two quarters, and also a couple of threes knocked down by Taylor McCabe. The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is responsible for our community, being home to countless amateur sporting events and state tournaments, from state volleyball, wrestling, tennis, and much more. The Sports Commission generates significant annual economic impact while adding substantially to our quality of life. The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is a proud presenting sponsor of University of Iowa Women's Athletics. Learn more at wegotnext.org. Couple of finals, one final other than this one in the Big Ten. Michigan State has defeated Michigan in East Lansing 82-61, and in the third quarter it is Wisconsin 40 and Rutgers 29, 6:32 left to go in the third. Catherine Reynolds in the locker room with head coach Lisa Bluter.
We're here with Coach Bluter in the locker room. Coach, kind of a tale of two halves against Nebraska today. Can you talk a little bit about your message at halftime and then what you saw in the second half from your Hawkeyes?
Well, I just didn't think in the first half we were running our offense very well. I don't think we were passing the ball very well. But I think we got better in the second half, and that's encouraging. I'm disappointed in our box outs and our ability to crash. I mean, they beat us by 9 on the boards, and I know they're a good rebounding team, but so are we. And we just didn't do a good job today on the boards.
Yeah, the offensive rebounding a little bit of a weakness today, but overall your defensive effort forcing 20 turnovers for Nebraska. Can you talk about that and maybe some of the individual performances on the defensive end?
Very happy with that. We had 20 assists, 11 turnovers. They have 15 assists, 20 turnovers, including, Alexis Markowski had 7 turnovers that we forced on doubles. And so that was nice to see that we handled that well. They shot the ball from 3 a lot better than I'd like that to have happened. I wish our 3-point defense could have been a little bit better. But we shot the ball from all 3 areas very well.
Yeah, and then I think you saw some balance today. 11 players in the game for you today, some balance. Can you just talk about how important it is to see contributions from multiple people outside of your starting lineup?
Well, 3 people in double figures, and I like that. Sid, Kate, and Caitlin all in double figures. Taylor goes in, hits a couple threes for us. Kate Martin is a 55% shooter today. Molly only gets 2 shots, but a 50% shooter. Hannah Stolke, 63, although didn't get enough shots. We did get other people involved in the second half. In the first half, I don't know that we did.
All right, well, good luck in the next one, Coach. Always a quick bounce back, and thanks for having me.
Thanks, K-Ray.
Catherine, thank you very much. And Coach Bler, after tonight's victory, and she mentioned the rebounding. Nebraska did out-rebound the Hawkeyes 40-31, 13 O-boards for Nebraska and the Hawkeyes 4, but she certainly had to like the fact 3 players in double figures and also 25 points off the bench, and Hannah Stolke played 23 minutes and 39 seconds and knocked down a big 3-pointer. She had 7 points, 4 rebounds, and also 3 steals. That was tops for the Hawkeyes, as they had 12 total steals in this ballgame.
We got Hannah Stolke here at the postgame. Hannah, can you tell me a little bit about what it's like to have a bye week but be able to stay ready for a game after having a few days off of practice, and what that was like to go out there against Nebraska today?
I think it's a challenge for everybody having a bye week, being able to stay focused, especially coming off that tough loss at Ohio State. But I think we took care of business, especially in the second half, and showed them what we were about.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow start, not something you guys are really used to with the way the games have been going this season. So what was the message at halftime for you guys to be able to come out in the second half and play as well as you did?
I think just staying focused, doing our fundamentals, being ready at all times, just playing our basketball. We weren't really doing that in the first half. So,
okay, what about for you individually? What was your point of focus in the second half?
I think my defense, especially their post is a really great basketball player, so being able to slow her down is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Hannah. We'll see you at the next game.
Thanks.
And Hannah Stolke did a really good job against Markowski, and she only shot 12 times, did Alexis Markowski. Ended up with 17 points, did have 11 rebounds, but that is tough work against a all Big Ten center. So Hannah Stolke with 7 points and 4 rebounds in just under 24 minutes in this afternoon's game. Don't forget, Hawkeye fans, throughout the season, you can join head coach Lisa Bluter for Hawk Talk, presented by Oaknall. We're at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Hawk Talk with Coach Bluter is every week from 6 until 7. You can visit HawkeyeSports.com to take a look at the schedule. We will be there Monday night for Hawk Talk, 6 until 7. There was a time last week when we were going to be on from 6 until 7:30, but that's not going to work, so we'll be from 6 until 7, but live at the Hyatt Regency, and then that show will be followed by the Fran McCaffrey Show. Also, Iowa and Michigan men's basketball coming up at, underway right now. So a big weekend, big Saturday of Hawkeye athletics. Iowa women already win today, and hopefully the men can get a big victory at Michigan this afternoon. Iowa 92. And Nebraska 73. We'll be back to listen in on some of tonight's top plays and also wrap things up from Carver Hawkeye Arena after Iowa's 19th win of the year. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome to the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show, delivering opportunities and results for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers.
And our postgame stats report has been brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the all-new, totally free Hy-Vee Perks membership. As Iowa State, as we look at Big 12 action today, has lost a close one at number 24 West Virginia, 84-78. Texas has a 6-point advantage over Cincinnati. Texas number 10 in the country, 4:50 left in the third, 36-30. Kansas State and BYU coming up at the top of the hour. Number 4, K-State, 19-1. Don't forget that March is a great time to schedule your vasectomy. The experts, urologists at the UI Healthcare, specialize in both standard and minimally invasive vasectomy procedures. This March, get benched and recover in front of the TV for March Madness. Schedule your appointment now. Visit uihc.org/appointment. Hawkeyes win it 92-73. Let's listen in on how it happened. And here's Clark, wide open, free. This time buries it just right at the top of the key, and the Hawks strike first. Clark in between the circles, gets a screen, fadeaway, three, drills it from the top of the key, and that'll do it for the second quarter. Clark off a screen, buries a three from the left wing.
Man, nobody better moving to their left side. Clark needed no space, no time. She's just so comfortable when she's got her feet underneath her. Didn't even need a dribble that time.
Here's Molly Davis in between the circles. Had 2 points in the first half. Gets it to Clark for three. Swishes this one from left to the top of the key. Timeout, Nebraska. Davis gets it to Clark, coming off a screen. Buries the three-pointer. Left wing, right in front of the Hawkeye bench. Feuerbach quickly down. Gives it back to Clark. Same spot. Swish.
I don't think she's hit the rim this half, Rob. Has she? Correct me. I don't think so. Clark feeling it.
Been all nylon so far in the third quarter. Head to McCabe, now to Davis on the left wing. Fakes a pass inside, gets it back out to McCabe. Swish, left to the top of the key. A three for Taylor McCabe. She has 14, averages 12. Clark, three-point answer, top of the key three. Errant pass to Clark. Now Caitlin's going to have to try to get something up from 35. Count it! A three at the buzzer at the shot clock for Clark with 31. Marshall, right side, hands it off to Sydney Falter at the top of the key. Angles left side, now Marshall on the left wing. Gets it to Stolke for three. Left wing, good for Hannah Stolke, has 7. Some big plays today from the Iowa Hawkeyes as Caitlin Clark ended up with 38. Remember, she just had 10 points at intermission. and 10 boards and 6 assists. And just as really owned Nebraska over the years. I remember some terrific performances in her freshman and sophomore year at Nebraska, and I think she scored 30 points or more in every single contest against the Huskers. It was also the 49th career game for Caitlin with 30 or more points. That's the most in men's or women's college basketball history the last 25 years. And Kate Martin continues her excellent play, getting in double digits with 15 or more points now in 9 contests this season. All 5 Hawkeyes that were in the starting lineup scored in the first quarter, and we talked about how productive the bench was today with 25 points from that group. And the Hawkeyes now have won 11 of the last 12 against Nebraska, and in 8 of the last 9, Iowa, in the wins over Nebraska, the Hawks have scored 80 or more points. So you mentioned, Catherine, the track meet there in the first half. That's kind of been the norm when these two teams get together.
It seems to be a little bit of a high-scoring contest every time. I think, with the border war, it's a rivalry game, and you mentioned Caitlin kind of having Nebraska's number, and I think she knows that and believes that. So when she comes into this matchup, she's had a supreme level of confidence. Not that that's something she struggles with on most occasions, but she definitely feels confident against this Nebraska team and the way they defend her and those types of things. So, that track meet, the way it started, and then it kind of slowed down. Low-scoring half for the Iowa Hawkeyes. But then, I say that in the second half, they blow it out. 56 points in the half, and, you think about had they done that all game, putting up 112 again.
Well, you need all 40 minutes sometimes, and the Hawkeyes certainly exploded in the third quarter, as Catherine said, 27-18, and now our attention to the Wildcats.
Yeah, exactly. Nebraska, a good opponent to go into that Northwestern game. But the thing about Northwestern, as we head up to Evanston, is that they play some funky defense. Coach McEwen's coined it, the Blizzard defense. It's different than what you see the rest of the
bothered Caitlin earlier in her career.
Yeah, it absolutely has, and that's it's something that they hang their hat on. And so the thing that makes that Blizzard defense go is usually kind of the person right in the middle. And for years, Northwestern was able to rely on Veronica Burton, who's now an incredible point guard of the WNBA. She kind of ran that defense. She's the kind of makes things happen. And so as personnel has changed, that defense sometimes not quite as effective as it has been in past years. But that being said, it is different. It's a different look than this Iowa team's used to seeing, and so sometimes can create some issues. So that's what I will be prepping on in the next few days before heading over to Chicago, and look forward to that matchup.
Only meeting between the Hawkeyes and the Wildcats this year in the regular season, and that is a 7 o'clock tip from Welsh Ryan Arena on the campus of Northwestern University. We will be on the air, Catherine and me, at 6:45, Iowa and Northwestern from Evanston. Hawkeyes win at 92-73 over Nebraska. Now stand at 19-2, 8-1 in the conference. Nebraska falls to 13-7 and 5-4, and Iowa will be at Nebraska later on in February on the 11th. But next up, Iowa and Northwestern Wednesday night. Don't forget Hawk Talk with Coach Bluter from the Hyatt Regency on Monday from 6 until 7. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this afternoon, as always, on our Iowa Hawkeye YouTube channel, the Varsity app, channel 195 on Sirius XM, and, of course, our great Hawkeye Radio Network stations. For Catherine Reynolds, I'm Rob Brooks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The final score, once again, the Hawks 92, the Huskers 73. Good afternoon from Carver Hawkeye Arena. This is Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball from Learfield.
This has been the Iowa Soybean Association postgame show. Biodiesel, moving Iowa forward. Hawkeye women's basketball has been brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Authentic brand. Elevate your everyday style with a premium label of choice. Hy-Vee. Score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. And by Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit IALottery.com for details. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.